Welcome everyone to episode 31 of the Brewhouse podcast between two brothers where we talk about gaming, tech, entertainment, and everything in between. This week we will be giving our recap and review on episode 3 of The Mandalorian. If you haven't, we have done recaps on episode 1 and 2 already, so be sure to check those out. And I thought this was definitely the best episode of the season. I'm sure you did too, yeah.
I agree.
I kind of called it with what was going to happen. There was going to be kind of a John Wick thing going on where all the bounty hunters were going to be after him. And I guess we got our question answered of if he does turn in Baby Yoda, which he does, which was kind of surprising. I don't know what you thought was going to happen, but
I had a feeling that he'd probably turn him in, but then
Yeah.
he'd regret it instantly, which turned out to what actually happened. But I didn't know if he'd, go back right away and try to get Baby Yoda.
We see the Mandalorian become. I mean, he's a human, he's a man, but you look at him as kind of a. I don't want to say like mindless or. He doesn't have a lot. He doesn't show a lot of emotion or feelings, and you see him kind of quote unquote break the code of what he's supposed to do. So he turns into Baby Yoda. And he's like, well, what are you going to do with it now? And that's not supposed to happen. Once you complete the job, you break all communication.
Yeah, that's against the Bounty Hunter Guild is to, ask what happens after the fact.
He does end up turning Baby Yoda in and gets a shit ton of Beskar and gets his armor completely remade. And he looked so badass in it. Yeah, it was like a freaking awesome MMO character when you go get all your badass gear and you're walking through town kind of thing, showing off your armor. So that was really cool. And he goes back and he kind of shows the same emotion again. It's like, do you know what they're going to do with the baby? And Grief Targa, Carl Weathers' character is like, doesn't matter. Like, that's not our business. And he actually got some Beskar too, because he's kind of like
paid,
he oversaw everything. So he got a portion for, I guess, being, the intermediary, you could say. And we see some more of the Mandalorians hiding out, and you see that it's really like tight knit. I don't want to almost say like, I mean, it is a clan, but they're very tight knit.
No, it's very. I mean, so as a Mandalorian, as a bounty hunter, he's part of the the Bounty Hunter Guild. But first and foremost, he's part of his own clan, the Mandalorians. So from what it seemed like, I don't know why they're doing this. I guess that's part of like their history that only one of them is allowed to be out at a time.
Well, I think they're still in hiding from when the Empire like went and found all of them and like started executing them.
Right.
Because at the end of the episode, you hear like they're gonna have to find a new place to hide.
A new home. Well, I mean, if anybody had any sense, I mean, they're obviously, unless they're just not going out, but there was hundreds of them underground. But no, I like that he chose not to take the signet of the Mudhorn because Baby Yoda helped him out and it wasn't a clean kill. And the big dude, the gunner, was actually voiced by Jon Favreau.
So we have him sneaking back in to find Baby Yoda, and I really enjoyed these like kind of stealth, kind of just blunt ways of killing the idiot stormtroopers. I love that they've kept the persona up that stormtroopers are just dumb. They're supposed to be highly trained and all this, but they just get crapped on by the Mandalorian, and it was really funny. Well, yeah, they're not clones. The clones were badass, but there's no more clones anymore. So I thought it was really cool how he used a bunch of different methods to kill them. He roasted one alive. He freaking he scorpioned one over to him. Like, get over here, and stabbed him with his knife. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't necessarily like, but this is kind of nitpicky. He had the whistling bird thing that the blacksmith made for him. He used it like 10 minutes after he got him. And it's like, you probably could have gotten out of that without using those.
I knew that was coming because it's like, don't use these because they're hard to make. Yeah. I was like, well, they're gone this episode.
That's something that's kind of like you never see, or you rarely see. And again, this is a TV show, so it's different. You rarely see somebody get like a new power or like a new item or weapon or whatever and use it immediately. And he used it. Like, I'm not kidding. It was 10 seconds after he got it, pretty much, that he used it. Not 10 seconds, like 10 or 15 minutes, which I guess we can talk about next before we get to the amazingness that was the end of the episode.
The finale.
What are your thoughts on the episode lengths? Because I know we talked about it last episode, but this episode was the shortest.
Yeah, it seemed like the longest, but it was the shortest. I wish they were like 10 minutes longer. Like that, not much longer. I mean, they're not too short where it's like, 25, 30 minutes. But I mean, if they're like 5 to 10 minutes longer, yeah, it would obviously.
And this episode had a lot happening in it, so it felt longer, but at the same time, it went by fast. If that makes sense.
I think it's as long as there's no downtime, no slow moments like what I said in the first episode, him learning to ride the thing for that episode. I mean, they didn't need to do that. So, I mean, if there's no downtime in it, I'm okay with 35 minutes of straight story, nothing else. But I wish they would just be a little bit longer, just for my personal benefit.
So let's get to the end of the episode, because I think this was one of the coolest things that has happened in Star Wars. So pretty much.
Well, let's talk about. He goes back in to get another bounty, and it is General Akbar's race. Could be his son, for all we know. That he's going to, and then Carl Weathers' character, flashes off his money, and everybody else is pissed off at him because he's decked out in his new gear, and everybody had that bounty. And so everybody's pissed off at him.
Yeah, because they all wanted the reward.
Oh yeah, they wanted the reward. Yeah, which came in a ice cream.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was a Easter egg to what episode did they do that for? Was it Empire?
That was in Empire. Yeah, guys running around with it under his arm, and that was what it was from. But it's one of those slow churning ice cream makers is what it is.
So so leading up to that, he's trying to escape, and Grief Targa shows up with the entire bounty hunter guild.
Trying to escape by just walking down the main road back.
Which, I mean, I guess was the quickest way if you think about it. But so this was like the John Wick moment where all the bounty hunters, like their beepers are going off.
Their beepers all go off.
I mean, this was a good shootout. You definitely see that, like, again, we've talked about this before. He is not, and the main character is not invincible. He gets his ass kicked multiple times. He has to kind of improvise on what he does, and you get the idea that he's going to lose this shootout because there's just so many people.
Yeah, and I mean, he's behind this. He's in the cart that's like this much blockage, and like more people just get on the roof and shoot him.
At this point, he's about to be overrun, and then, like I said, one of the coolest things that I think has happened in Star Wars happens, like as a whole in all of Star Wars, is when all the Mandalorians show up on like their jetpacks. They're shooting, a missile comes out of nowhere and blows up, and then all of a sudden there's just like a ton of Mandalorians coming out and destroying the guild pretty much.
Yeah, because they're protecting one of their clan. So even though the guy that was the heavy gunner, whatever we'll call him, he was pissed off at Mando. Because he had this reward. He's the only one that's
he had the reward, and it was
this.
from the Imperials. So he's like, "Why are you accepting a reward from them when they were, executing us?"
Yeah, well, because it's it's gonna make me stronger and give me better armor, and it's gonna be able to give me an advantage. But he's able to quickly put that aside and realize, okay, one of our own is in danger. We're gonna do whatever we can, even if it's coming out of hiding and protecting.
So I thought that was a really cool moment, and just the the whole them coming out in jetpacks was, it was in Clone Wars we see it, but it was really cool to see it live action because we've never really gotten that. We got Jango Fett on his jetpack, but that's about it. Well, yeah, but they could only do so much with that. But this was badass.
Yeah.
So he gets on his ship, and Grief Targa follows him. And I don't think this was just bad aim. I think the Mandalorian was trying to not kill him, because he knew the Beskar was there. And I mean, he's a trained killer, so he's probably accurate enough to see through. Yeah. see through the carbonite
that
was coming out, or the steam or whatever, and shoot the plate just to knock him back off the ship. Because I didn't think they were gonna kill him there, because we definitely see him again.
No. I mean, he's too much of a prominent actor to be able to come in just for this for 3 episodes. No, he's gonna either come back this season or even maybe next season.
There's some scenes from the trailers which that might have just been like kind of filler, but I think there's some scenes of him that we haven't seen yet. So I'm sure we'll see him fairly soon.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he's definitely coming back.
Well, no, I'm talking about from this season.
I mean, if
so I don't know when we'll see him. I'm really interested when we're going to be introduced to Gina Carano's character. I think that's her name. The woman from Deadpool.
Yeah.
She played she played somebody in Deadpool. I forget her name. Yeah.
Yeah, she played one of the bad guys, the super strength. But she fought what's her name in Fast and the Furious?
Yeah.
5?
She was one of Shaw's like undercover people, like one of his moles or whatever.
Yeah, it was the one where they're in Dubai. That's
no. That was how I remember. This was that was Ronda Rousey. This was in the 5th one when they're in London or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this episode was really good, dude. I really liked it.
And I liked how at the beginning he takes the little ball.
He's like, that's not a toy.
And then at the end, he just the hands come up and he just drops it to him and gives it to him. But one thing, I don't know if you caught it, I'm sure you did, that whenever he goes to turn in Baby Yoda, that there's a red glare in his mask. And then whenever he goes back with his new mask, or he's talking to Carl Weathers' character with his new mask, there's
I didn't notice that.
So in the visor and in the little bit, there's like a reflection, a little bit of light reflection, but like whenever he goes to turn it in, it's red. So signifying, he's bad. And whenever he goes talk to Carl Weathers, asking him what they're going to do to it, he's in his new armor, but it's got like a little
I didn't notice that.
hue.
That's pretty cool.
Like on the black like faceplate. So, he's turning good. Now, I don't know if they did it on purpose or not, but
another thing we talk about when he gets to Baby Yoda in the Imperial hideout place, the cloning doctor's there, and we're assuming he got all the samples he needed, but we saw that
drew blood.
He might not necessarily be all bad either, because he wanted, whether it was just for the samples, he wanted to keep it alive, but after he got the samples, he still wanted to keep it alive. So,
well, like they said, they didn't care if he brought it back alive or dead. All they really wanted was
the doctor wanted him alive.
So, the doctor wanted to keep him alive, just I guess for good intentions. And then there was the reference to the big black ball thing from the original trilogy,
the torture droid or whatever
that he ended up shooting. Yeah, the torture droid. So I think it's good that that Mando didn't kill him. Is he going to come back?
He might come back like at the end, but if he does successfully clone him,
where do you think he's going to go from now? Is he going to go to like some? I'm hoping he goes to just like some random place.
I don't know.
I want him to go. With this series, I want them to go to different locations that they haven't been,
like they have been so far.
Like I don't want them to go to Coruscant or Tatooine or it would be cool if he went to like Dagobah to hide out for a little bit,
like we said,
like that.
Like you said, and
that would be cool.
I agree with you. We would be perfectly fine if we don't even see a lightsaber in this series.
I don't want to see one. Just like in Rogue One, you don't see a lightsaber in the entire thing. Vader.
But
well, I'll correct that. You can't say I hope they don't reference the Force, like they don't call it Baby Yoda's using the Force.
We want. And they've done a really good job of this so far. We want them to explore things that haven't been talked about or haven't been covered, because all the movies have been about the same thing,
same people, same thing across this vast universe. You're always going back to Tatooine. You're always going to go to Coruscant. It's like you're always going to the same planet, Jakku, and all I think it's just like. No, let's get new stories and get new people involved and build off the lore and like the framework that the movie set, but not necessarily just use that.
Which I think is why a lot of people like Clone Wars and Rebels so much, because it's familiar.
Rebels is really good.
I like Rebels. A familiar universe with some characters, but they introduce a lot of plot lines that are canon and that bring along new characters that play a major role that we haven't seen.
Yeah, if you have Disney Plus, watch Clone Wars and watch Star Wars Rebels. Rebels, you can watch the entire series. Clone Wars, there's a guide, like a clip art that you can watch. You know, there's a lot of
season 1
in Clone Wars. There's a lot. There's like because I want to say like the recommended episodes in season 1 are like there's like 3 episodes.
If you don't watch any of the episodes. If Jar Jar is in the episode, do not watch it, because you
pretty much watch the ones with Grievous.
You watch like. There's a storyline where Obi-Wan like fakes his death and becomes a bounty hunter. That storyline's very good. Yeah. Anything with Ahsoka is really good.
Yeah, I want to say like out of all the seasons, there's like maybe 25, 30 episodes that you watch out of all the seasons. But as far as Rebels goes, Rebels good. You watch
Rebels is kind of more, I don't want to say kiddie, but I found it more kiddie than Clone Wars.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely more kiddie because I mean it was going for a different audience. It was trying to get younger kids that didn't really know.
Because in Clone Wars you'll see people die on screen, but then in Rebels it's always like off screen or like an explosion where you can't see what happens or something like that.
But watch Clone Wars before you watch Rebels.
No, I was just going to sleep. Okay, so yeah, man, I really liked the episode. I'm really interested to see where they're going to go from here.
Did you watch the last trailer that they released for
no, I'm not watching
Rise of Skywalker? The last one was, just, I guess, played off some of their humor or something like that. The stormtroopers have jetpacks now.
So, yeah.
I mean, why not? Sure.
Keeping my expectations not low, but tempered. It's J.J. Abrams, so it'll hopefully be good.
Yeah, the bad thing is Last Jedi is shot so well. Every scene in that movie is so good. It's just the story is just crap.
On that movie. It's so bad.
It's just crap. I mean, like I went back and skipped through it, and I'm like,
oh yeah, like
these scenes look beautiful.
With like the freaking whatever last planet they were on in the bunker. That was amazing.
Yes, like that whole like battle scene and everything like that, and like the ships flying, like the red dust and everything. Like that's great. The whole casino planet that never happened.
And not. Let me clarify something. When a ship runs out of fuel in space, it does not stop moving. It would keep moving because that's how space works. And you would think Star Wars would get that right. I just want to get that out.
And if we could just light speed through everything, why didn't they do one kamikaze light speed through the Death Star, just blow up the Death Star?
So yeah, I mean, we could do an hour-long episode ranting about The Last Jedi, and we will not. Yeah, but we could.
We haven't done that already.
I don't know. I feel like anytime we talk about that movie, it's just bad things. And I
yeah, I've only watched it start to finish the first time.
I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters. And I don't plan on watching it again.
No, I skimmed through it the other day.
Yeah, but
that was about it. No, do you want to do the podcast about our top 5 Star Wars?
I think we should. There's a lot of Star Wars going on. Did you start Fallen Order?
Yes, I am halfway through Kashyyyk, going straight to the planets that only are on the main story. So whenever you leave the first planet, you have the option to go to the main story.
Okay, so you didn't go. You didn't go to that one with it. Okay, good.
No, not yet. No, I'm pretty much trying to push through the story to get to the point where it's like, okay, go finish everything else before you beat the game, and then I'll go 100%
exactly
the game
what I
go
did.
Finish the story. I mean, I already know what happened. I already know what happens at the end because YouTube scrolling through is like, oh, yeah, this appearance happens at the end. I'm just like
in the thumbnail.
Cool. I mean,
yeah, that happened to me.
Whatever.
Too.
I don't care. But what I was saying the other day, how I thought of that subject, top 5 Star Wars game, because people always say, "Oh, there's no good Star Wars
plenty
games.
of good Star Wars games."
I was like, there's
of them a lot might more be than harder for you to play because they're old and on Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh, Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. I mean, those are some of the better ones.
We'll definitely talk about. We'll do an episode on that too.
Yeah, no, we'll have to do top 5, and like I already said, 5 turned into 8 real quick
But
for me.
Fallen Order is in that top 5 for me. I don't know if it will be for you. Yeah, it's probably close.
It's not for me. It's not for me. See, like I need to finish it first. I'm gonna get it all the way through, but like I can already tell you're gonna rate this game a whole lot
I did an
higher
actual
than I am.
review on it, and I gave it an 8.5 because I thought the world design was good. Just to quickly talk about it. I thought the world design was good. I thought the combat was very good. The game was just short.
See, the combat's iffy for me. I think the pairing system is not where it should be. Because sometimes I'll hit the parry, a second early on purpose, and I'll parry, but then I'll hit it whenever I'm supposed to, and I just get hit or I just block. So I don't really know that. And like with the pairing system, I wish there was more, combos. So you're not seeing them just roll over and stab them through the chest every time. And then like the mechanics wise, I mean, it's you can tell what's Respawn?
Oh yeah.
Played Uncharted. I mean, I'll just put it like that. You can tell they played Uncharted 4 and be like, we can do a Star Wars game like this. Because it's Uncharted
with
Wars.
Similar level design. I compared it to God of War. Kinda.
See, I wouldn't even put it God of War. I would say it's almost strictly Uncharted with semi-open world.
I mean, there's a scene or there's an action sequence where you're fighting something on a train, and with something shooting at you.
I mean, that's in the first world.
What else happens? What other game does that happen in? Uncharted.
I mean, tell me, is there slide mechanics this much throughout the game? Because it's like, oh, I'm gonna go adventure up this area, and when I get to the top, slide mechanic all the way back down to the bottom.
I think you'll like Dathomir a whole lot more than you'll like the other planets. Dathomir was my favorite planet.
I mean, I'm critiquing it. It's still good. It's still the story. The story is still really appealing. I mean, the actor, I was kind of iffy at first, but I like that they chose. Yeah, no, he's doing a good job, and all the other characters so far that you met are good. Voice acting's good. It chugs on PlayStation hard.
See it
very hard, and I've seen people say on the Pro it does it too.
We all know you got to get those trophies.
Yeah, and I mean I got to get the trophies. But no, there's a couple clipping issues, where it's like lightsabers like going through a wall, and it's going through his cloak and stuff like that. But it's just no, that's what I'm saying. I saw it on your stream, like whenever he takes out his lightsaber, it's like through his cloak.
Or like if you next time you go to customize your lightsaber, at the end he like lifts it up and like turns it on. And there's like a part of the table that it just goes through. Yeah. So
it just goes through.
Yeah, it has some minor issues. I enjoyed it a lot though.
No, I think it's definitely a good starting point that you can definitely build on it and
for sure.
Improve it a lot more for the next one. Because I think they honestly rushed to get this game out before episode 9. Is there a grappling hook?
No. There's not.
Okay. You saw my tweet the other day saying it can't be a respawn game without wall running.
But there's you do not get a I don't think you get a grappling hook.
You don't get a grappling hook?
Unless I'm forgetting, which I'm pretty sure I'm not. Anyways, guys, we're going off on a tangent. Talking about Fallen Order. I do have a review for that game up on my YouTube channel, completely spoiler free. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, go watch that one and stay away from YouTube. Anything else, because you'll see a thumbnail.
I wasn't even browsing YouTube. It was somebody that I'm not even subscribed to started live streaming, and the thumbnail was made like the biggest spoiler in the game. So I was like, okay, like cool.
I mean, if you think about it, that's going to happen.
And it was really cool. All right, we're not going to talk about it anymore. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to follow on whatever platform you're listening on. And our next episode will probably be the review on episode 4, because that comes out on Friday. And then we'll have 2 episodes next week where we do our top 5 Star Wars games, which will be very interesting because we'll have some of the same ones, but some different ones too.
We might have 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think we'll have,
because there's so many of them. And we could talk about it after.
Yeah,
like I'm just gonna rattle
I think
off
we'll have two of the
all
same
that I have in
ones.
mind.
Maybe, yeah. So, anyways,
I think
guys,
so
we
too.
appreciate y'all watching, and until next time, keep gaming, and we'll see y'all later.
Keep gaming.
Peace.